Isn't it odd, Andrew, that an organization that reportedly has pulled in over $30 million since the death of George Floyd, they are at the forefront of every news story because of the protests all across the country, that no mainstream media organization is at all curious about why they have their donations handled by a group that employs a convicted terrorist?
It's one thing for the Democrats to do this. I think we all have to accept now that the Democrats are a radical organization. The Democrats use faces like Joe Biden, who remind us of what old style Democrats used to be, to hide an agenda that is fully Marxist, fully socialist, absolutely anti-American. They say they dislike America. They say it's a racist country. What bothers me about this, Liz, is the Republicans. It bothers me that there are still Republicans going around saying Black Lives Matter as if it weren't connected to this radical, anti-family, anti-capitalist, anti-American organization. Mike Pence was on John Dickerson's show on CBS, and Dickerson tried to browbeat him into saying Black Lives Matter. And Dickerson kept saying, never mind the organization, just the phrase, just say the phrase. And Pence, to his credit, wouldn't say it. But there are a lot of other Republicans who have not stepped forward. They're so intimidated by the press. They're so afraid of the accusation of being racist that they will not look this dragon in the face and face it down. And it's really disturbing. And for all these Republicans who are angry that Donald Trump is in office, who don't like Trump and think, why did they send Donald Trump? Why did the voters pick Trump? This is why. This is why, because they will not stand up and say the words that have to be said, that this is a radical, destructive, wicked organization. I don't care if you call it I Love Puppies. It's still a bad news organization.
They are anti-capitalism, anti-free speech, anti-white, anti-family, anti-police, and ascribe to a neo-Marxist ideology. By the way, that is all their own words. We have shown videos of the leaders and the co-founders of this organization, the Black Lives Matter organization. We've shown videos on this show of them saying each and every one of those things. Not my accusation, not something I inferred, their own words. It's shocking to see. And I spoke with a Democrat on my show, Andrew, last week, and I asked them, how do you justify this? Because as a country, when the Women's March was exposed to have anti-Semitic, very radically anti-Semitic leaders, eventually everyone coalesced. Eventually, the public pressure forced the Women's March to fire Linda Sarsour and to cut ties with Tamika Mallory because of their association with radical hate preacher Louis Farrakhan, right? So I posited this to the Democrat and I said, isn't it time to do the same thing with the Black Lives Matter movement? Because the Women's March is basically obsolete. So if you truly care about the cause that you claim the Black Lives Matter movement represents, shouldn't you be speaking out the loudest to condemn the organizational leaders? The only response was, I don't think a majority of the people in the streets ascribe to this. And so the Democrat brushed off the leaders and the co-founders.